Ladies and gentlemen, I hope everybody's well this evening. We just want to do it. We do it every time. We do it again and we do it again. I just want to say one more time. That's what we want to do. So we on Instagram. We got the YouTube going on tonight, and so I was a little ill tonight, y'all. I was a little bit sick, um, and then my energy was low today, right? So I want to tell y'all what happened. Hey, Instagram, what's going on? One more time. Tell y'all what happened. I mean, it was a revelation. If anybody watches the channel, you know that I've been doing this for 12 years, getting this research. Okay. So I get the research from the barbershop and the hair salon. I interview men and women. I hold men and women's relationship forums for those that don't know. I don't often give my opinion when I'm talking about a topic like we're talking about today. Is you researched? It's not my opinion. My opinion is a personal experience from me, and I would convey that to you. But I'm telling you what people have taught me in the barbershop and in the hair salon for over 30 years. So my good brother, his name is Big G. So I got to get excited so I can give him his flower because I want y'all to know how he impacted me. And today I am sick, but I want you to know I'm sitting at home, family, in my chair, right? I'm in my little chair and my phone rang. So the brother said, "Hey, what's going on, good brother?" He said, "Hey, man, you don't remember me?" And he dropped a few names and he was trying to connect because I've done a lot of forums. It's been a lot of time. I haven't seen him in 10 years. So he called me really excited. So I'm like, yeah. I said, well, even though I don't know who this is, I said, I'm glad that you called me with this type of energy. I need this all the time. So I'm giving this brother his flowers, man. Okay. And I'm telling you today, I'm sick. I wasn't going to do the show today, but he coaches a little league baseball team and he was going to come on to the show. But because the game kept going, he was during the game, he called me back and said, hey, I can't meet with you today. We're going to have to reschedule it because the game is going on right now as we speak. Now, I understood, family, if he didn't show up, he was coaching the game. We talked about this last week. So the brother told me how I impacted his life 10 years ago. He got married after that forum. The young lady that was in his life then was his lady, and then she became his wife. So he called me back with that enthusiasm. He gave me that pep in my step. And sometimes we get sidetracked, y'all, because we don't get a check or we don't get accolades or we don't get that award or we don't get that kudos. We think that nobody's watching. So you just got to keep doing the right next thing. So because I was formulating my research 10 years ago, so he came in about 2 years afterwards. And then he came to tell me how much I impacted his life and his relationship and his marriage. So I just want to tell him I thank him for giving me the energy because tonight I was going to cancel. But then he even called me back to let me know because the show starts at 6. He called me at 6:45 and said, hey, D, I'm not going to be able to make it. The consistency of a man. Him reaching back out to me out of respect, telling me how he felt and what he had going on when he previously already explained that. And he needed not call me when he got a game going on because he's a coach. He's the head coach. So, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. I want to thank you, Big G. I want to thank you for calling me that seed that was planted in me through you. Okay. And I'm saying you and the 10,000, 20,000 other brothers who've given me this information and women. I'm telling you, that's what has helped you. So it wasn't me. It's not about me because I guarantee you I'm not that smart. It was about the people who empower me with that information. So I think that it's a privilege and it's my purpose to present it to you. Okay. So that was Big G. So now we need to apologize to Auntie Greta. Auntie Greta was supposed to be on the show tonight. Auntie Greta works with me. I have a catering company. She helped me with my catering. She the old school food. She the fish, chili, macaroni and cheese, guru or all that, right? So she was gonna come on tonight. I was really gonna do the show about her, but then mine had to go to work. So we were gonna do impressions of Auntie Greta. So we're gonna have some fun and kind of let y'all see behind the scenes who's very influential to this channel and the information that we give out here. And she is definitely one of them. So I want to apologize to her. So tonight's show is this the first generation that is smarter than their elders? Is this generation today the first generation to be smarter than their elders? So when we were raised, my generation, Gen X, we knew that we weren't special. We knew that we weren't all that. And we knew we were not smarter than people 10, 15, 20, 30 years older than us. We knew that. It was a default. Now, today, we're being challenged. And we should. Okay? We couldn't challenge it because it was more discipline. It was more respect. It was more in-depth family connectivity. It was more community interaction. So now, because that's dissipating, now the challenges come more frequently and more often. So this is what I want to tell to my millennials and my Gen Yers. If you are 20 years old and a 10-year-old, 10 years younger than you, come up to you and they want to teach you about life, what can a 10-year-old teach you as a 20-year-old about life in depth? I'm not saying that a 10-year-old can't teach you anything. That is not what I'm saying. I'm telling you about life in depth, life altering, changing situations. A 10-year-old cannot teach you life. That 10 years is a whole generational gap. If you are a 20-year-old and you're talking to a 30-year-old, it's going to be very hard for you, even with your experience and your knowledge, to be able to tell that 20 or 30-year-old about life in depth, okay, to the core. Not saying you can't teach them anything, not saying they can't learn from you. You can't teach them life specifically from 20 to a 30-year-old mindset with that experience. A 30-year-old cannot go to a 40-year-old and teach a 40-year-old life in depth, okay, with certainty, connectivity from experiment perspective. They can only give knowledge. Now we have a video on the Clipperdome Chronicles. You can go back on YouTube. It's called Knowledge versus Experience. Knowledge is beautiful. Knowledge is our internet. Knowledge is our library. Knowledge is, information. Knowledge is microfiche, encyclopedias, dictionaries. That's knowledge. Beautiful. Stop right there. Put it on the top shelf. We can't question that, can't deny that, because that's what it is. But when you get the knowledge, you have to have experience and know where to put it. Knowledge is what it is. Experience is how to do it. And so now we're talking about these generations. They have the knowledge, but they don't know what to do with it. So I have a couple of mentees. They're very well to do. Some of them are getting good money. Some of them are, it comes from age 20 up to 60 years old. So when we're talking, I'm getting this information and I'm trying to help them understand that sometimes in a situation, one of us is smarter than the other in a situation, not period. You good at math. I'm horrible at math. But in the science class, I'm the best thing smoking. So when it comes to the science test, if you want to study, call me. I'm going to hit you up. We're going to get together. We're going to pass that test. Now, when it comes to math, now we're putting science to the side. I'm coming to you because you're the best thing smoking in math. So I'm going to come to you. I'm going to hit you up, and hopefully we can pass that math class. This knowledge and experience is becoming critical because I'm getting younger brothers who think they got it. They're going outside of the experience. Now, I'm going to use me. When I was 25, I was in the classic cars. I still have my 2 cars. You know what they told me at 25? They call me young blood. They say, young blood, don't never sell your cars. And I never sold one of them. And I still got them to this day. They said, young blood, don't never sell your cars. I got them right now. So now here is the caveat to that. And I'm going to show you now how this thing spins. So I went to them to get knowledge. The youngest guy in the club next to me was 45 years old and I was 25. He was 20 years my senior. The oldest guy was like 82 years old. So I was going to more funerals at 25 probably than most people had been to in their life because most of my friends were older, the people that I hung out with. So I'm going to get this knowledge and we talking. So some of them own radio stations, 100-man paint teams. Some of them were on auto repair shops. Some of them were accountants. Some of them are supervisors with the city. Some of them in politics, well-to-do brothers, well-to-do. So when I was hanging around the brothers, I'm trying to figure out how do I take my knowledge and get their experience. So where it twisted at is when I started to get closer, they thought that I was like their children. They said, well, he's not going to listen. So they didn't give me certain information. So I saw him about 8 years ago, right? So now we down the line. I'm 25 plus years down the line, right? So I go to him and say, well, young blood, we didn't tell you because we didn't think you was going to listen. And I said, that's the reason I came to you, because I knew I was an alien. I knew I was an anomaly. I knew I didn't know. So I came to the people who I thought did. And I found out they wouldn't even share the information with me. And I don't think it was out of malice. I don't think, that it was being mean. I'm thinking that they going through it with their kids and their kids hard-headed. They figuring I'm their children's age. They going to think that it's the same thing with me. Hey, what's going on, wifey? So when I was talking to them and they told me they didn't tell me because they figured that maybe I would not hear the information or retain it and try to keep it and then use it for experience, that kind of threw me off. So now I'm here. Now I'm the elder. And I'm saying the people that I was around, their grandparents raised them. So if you're 80 and your grandfather raised you, so your grandfather raised your father or your grandmother, and then they raised you. You understand that's 200 to 300 years of information and knowledge and experience, knowledge and experience. But it's the experience and the wisdom that's paramount and that's key that I want these young people to get and understand. Take a person that is inexperienced, that is 10 years younger or more. What can they really teach or show you to the core? I'm not saying you can't learn anything from them. I'm telling you, be very careful when your elders are speaking. I'm using 300 to 400 years of wisdom, experience, and knowledge. You are only using 25, 35, or 15 years because you guys have cut off that past, that history. So I just want to reconnect y'all to that. And I want y'all to understand that this video is about the past. It's about the history. Knowledge is beautiful. Let's say that. Put it on the top shelf. We want to hold that high. We don't want anybody to think that knowledge is not important. We don't want to think that knowledge is not king. But when it comes to knowledge versus experience, I would take my experience all day over all the knowledge you could ever read in your life. So I want to end that right there. So we want y'all to take this. We want you to test this. We want you to try this. Take it to the barbershop or take it to the hair salon. Take it to the job or take it to the church. Remember, you don't have to like it, believe it, or understand it. Sometimes you just have to respect it. This is the Clipper Dome Chronicles. Thank you.